Hello, it's Alex. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me for this week's Friday Sews, which as always is just a bit of a catch up of the sewing week gone by and maybe a bit of life thrown in. There are even more sewing vloggers joining in on Friday Sews. It seems to be increasing every week by 2 or 3 people. So there's an up-to-date list in the description box, and as I'm always saying, it's a great way of finding new people. This week I have made some things, but I was in a bit of a funny headspace this week. I certainly wasn't in the mood to make the Jessica jacket, and that's unusual for me. Normally I really like things that are quite challenging, like jackets and coats. I do struggle a little bit with tinnitus, like lots of people. I know it's really common, and it's just been particularly bad this week and driving me a little insane. So it's just a bit too distracting for something that needed proper amounts of concentration. So I put it to one side, and actually that was quite freeing. I did do the lovely Tulip Zoom on Friday night with Amanda from Felixstowe Sewing School. I really enjoyed doing that. It's a nice project for you don't have to have a lot of experience because she explains it really well, and I do think it is suitable for a beginner. And some people were hand sewing, not everybody necessarily had a sewing machine, so if you fancy doing something like that, you could go and check her out. But I really enjoyed doing this. I'm really pleased with how they look. My beautiful teenage daughters said that they didn't think they were very me, but you know, what do they know? So I will make some more, but I'm going to have to wait for the fabric shops to open because I don't really have any green cotton, and I think this gingham that she sent out as part of the kits, I think the gingham works really nicely for the leaves and for the stems. So yeah, I will do some more at some point. And then spurred on by a comment in my video, I think it was Monday's Frugal Frogs video, and by the way, thank you very much for all the comments on that. I really enjoyed making that video, so I'm glad some of you enjoyed it anyway. But yes, inspired by a comment from that, Julie, who has a pattern company and fabric shop called Sew Me Something, very kindly put a nice comment there, and it kind of reminded me of her. She does a really nice jumpsuit that I've had my eye on for a while, and for some reason she kind of slips my mind, so I thought, oh, I must go and check her out and remember and bookmark her and all the rest of it. And I spotted a pattern on her website that I couldn't resist, and it's the Hippolyta dress. It's got really interesting style lines to it. It's somewhere between an oversized shirt and a shirt dress, and both things I really like. It doesn't have buttons all the way down, so it is more dress-like. But yeah, it's the style lines that particularly drew me to it. And what took me to the point of, oh, I like that dress, to press buy was I thought it would work really well if you had some kind of fabric that was directional, so that you could play with those lines, you know, maybe stripes or something like that. And I was racking my brains to think if I had anything that might work, and I remembered that I had this, which is from Mind the Maker. I bought it from Lamazi, I think, and was originally earmarked to be an assembly line oversized shirt. Please tell me I'm not the only person that changes their minds about things all the time. But because of the lines on it, I thought, actually, yes, I can play around with the direction of the fabric, play around with those style lines. So I've ordered that, and alongside a few other skirts that were in the A-line skirt patterns from last week, was it? I sent those off to Fabuloso and to be printed out. I should imagine they will arrive tomorrow or shortly after. So I was in a kind of like in-between phase. I sent those off, not got those back yet, wasn't quite ready or in the right headspace for the Jessica, and I thought it would be a good time to make this top that I've talked about making, which is the Selina Woven top from Style Arc. It's been a great palette cleansing project to make because it's not been too difficult and hasn't taken too long. So yeah, I've been in a good headspace for making this one. Having said that, I did slightly overcomplicate it. It has got a yoke at the back, and on the pattern, on the instructions from Stylark, it just has that yoke as a single layer, and I hadn't really twigged that because with Stylark you don't get a lay plan, so you know, you just work it out yourself, like we tend to do most of the time anyway. But I just merrily automatically cut 2 back yokes. So I then thought, well, I might as well use it and do the yoke using the burrito method, which a couple of people have asked me to demonstrate that, and I'm really happy to, but will you let me know in the comments whether that's something you're interested in or not? It's always a bit hard to judge. So yeah, I'd really appreciate that. But I decided to do the burrito method, which of course then meant that the shoulder seams and the yoke would be all enclosed. So I then thought, well, I don't really want to now have a back facing on top of a yoke. I could have just put a front facing on and then done bias binding on the back, but I decided that if I was going to do that, I might as well use bias binding for the entire neckline. So that is what I did. I just did, I think, 3.5 centimetre wide bias binding, and that worked really well. And then I thought, well, now I've got my nicely enclosed seams, wouldn't it be nice to enclose all the other seams? So I ended up using French seams throughout for all of it, except for the part where the ruffle attaches at the bottom here. And because it's viscose, this fabric, which came from Fabric Godmother, last time I showed you this, it looked a lot paler than it is in real life. So I'm hoping when I take some close-ups, you'll be able to see it a bit clearer. But yeah, viscose fabric, so yeah, I even did the French seams on the sleeve. When it came to the section that's gathered, you're given 2 options for how to hem that gathered part, either to overlock and turn over, or to do a double fold and top stitch down. And I decided that I would see how my overlocker would behave at doing a rolled hem. And I have some overlocking thread that isn't an absolute close match to the fabric itself, but seems to match enough to some of the print on it. So I thought I'd get away with it, and I'm really pleased with it. I don't honestly think that I've ever done a rolled hem on my overlocker before, or if I have, it was a very long time ago. And it was so easy, and certainly a lot quicker, even by the time, you know, I got the manual out and read how to do it, a lot quicker than very carefully pressing down a nice beautiful little narrow hem. So yeah, if you make one of these, I definitely, if you've got an overlocker, definitely get the instruction manual out and see how that works. But overall I'm really pleased with it, but here's where I need you. I said before that because this is kind of this ruffly style, is not 100% me and was going to take me out of my comfort zone, that I opted not to include the ruffle on the sleeve. And I'm not sure that that's working. I feel that the sleeve is a bit, you know, it's poking out here, and I'd want that sleeve to be a bit narrower. And because I've only got a short sleeve and there's not a lot there, I think it's going to be hard to, I can adjust it, but it's going to be hard to adjust it enough. So my choices are leave it as it is because I'm looking for things where perhaps they're not, or bite the bullet and add the ruffle, add the ruffled hem to the sleeve. So tell me what you think. I'd really appreciate it if you let me know which way you think I should go with it, because I think I got a little bit of fabric left, so I think I've got enough to take those 2 ruffles. The other thing I talked about last week was Clubhouse, and we did in fact have our first Clubhouse chat on Sunday afternoon. So it was 3:30 or 15:30 UK time, which would be about 9:30, 10:30 in the US. It was really nice. There were about 9 or 10 of us, quite a big Yorkshire contingent. Sam Frugalissima, she has a channel here on YouTube. Sam was with us. Joan's in the Netherlands. We had a lady in New York, so quite a range. I think we had somebody in Scotland. Everybody joined in. It was really nice to talk. So we're going to be doing that on a weekly basis, certainly for the next couple of weeks, because once we're established we can set up as an official club. I'm really sorry for those people who want to join in and can't get an invite. It is invitation only at the moment, but it really is growing, and I'm sure you'll get an invite soon. And for those of you that are on Android and it's iPhone only, yeah, again, I'm told that it's going to open up to Android fairly soon, fingers crossed. So it'd be really nice if anyone's on Clubhouse or gets an invitation, if you want to join us. We're going to have a bit of a loose theme each week, and this weekend's theme is going to be spring summer plans. I did have a couple of people contact me and let me know that there is some controversy around data usage in Clubhouse. So if you do want to join, I'd suggest you perhaps, do a quick Google, do some research and check that you're happy with it. This Sunday is Mother's Day in the UK, so I don't know whether that might affect things or not, but I will be there at 3:30 for an hour to have a bit of a chat. The thing I've been doing a lot this week is watching all the Frugal Frogs videos. Now, I know I did mine on Monday, but I've really enjoyed watching all the videos because there's quite a lot so far. And just when you think that you know most of the pattern companies out there, there's always some you forget, like poor old Sew Me Something this week. But also there have been companies and free patterns that I didn't know about. In particular, I watched Cara, So Mad, yesterday, I think, or the day before, and she's introduced me to some companies I literally had never heard of. So I really suggest, even if you're not getting involved in that challenge and you're not going to make a frugal frock, or if you are, I really recommend going and having a look at some of those different videos. So all you do is put the hashtag in and you'll find loads of new people and a ton of really interesting information out there. My plans for next week are pretty much to make that dress. I'm really looking forward to it. My only concern is that because I bought this originally for the oversized shirt, this is going to sound familiar, this is like my Aline Skirt problem again. I've got 2 meters and the pattern requires 2.4. So I'm going to have to see if I can do a bit of jiggery pokery, possibly because I'm playing with some pieces will be on the cross grain. I might get away with it, so I think it's worth a gamble. And I'm not sure if there's a yoke. If there's a yoke, I could always use a different fabric for the inside part. So I might have to have a bit of a play around with that. And to be honest, I like the combination of this fabric and that pattern so much. If I can't make it work, if the worst comes to the worst, I'll just order a little bit more. So those are my plans for the week ahead. I'll be on Clubhouse on Sunday afternoon. Let me know what you think about whether I should add a ruffle onto this sleeve or leave it as it is. In the meantime, please look after yourselves, have a fabulous weekend, and I will be back soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.